I actually saw Tony speaking at the March for Life before I actually met him. A lot of what I had heard was just legends, like a 5-sport athlete at Georgetown. He had a million kids that went to Notre Dame.
Phyllis, she has to be the strength behind Tony. I see dedication to each other and dedication to what their calling is.
Tony is one of those guys that when you meet him, you know he's the real deal. He's humble, intelligent, great sense of humor. Because of that, people respect him. He's just very effective at what he does.
He's dedicated his life to this pro-life movement. And so the fact that Phyllis is a medical doctor and has also joined Tony in this mission of taking care of families and children, we're proud that they're Oklahomans.
They have 8 children, and to me that is the ultimate pro-life work, raising a godly family, because it's the culture that we have to win.
They have almost 20 grandchildren. Their family is a testament to the love that they have for each other, commitment to their faith, and their lifelong commitment to the pro-life effort.
He does not want attention, but there's no way he was going to pass up a chance for Phyllis to get some recognition for all she has done.
He started Oklahomans for Life, going to the legislature every single day. Those people must be so tired of him.
He knows what the truth is, and he knows a good and helpful way to fight for it that really draws people in. I'm glad that he's on our side.
I was working for a family publishing company, and we had an evening paper in Tulsa in those days, the Tulsa Tribune. I came out of work that evening, January 22nd, 1973, and I saw the headline on the front of the Tulsa Tribune, "Supreme Court legalizes abortion." It hit me like a ton of bricks. We had just had our first child, little girl. And she was born just 3 months before Roe v. Wade. And it was that experience that I began to feel as though I were just going through the motions in the business world, because my heart was really in the pro-life cause.
Growing up, no one spoke about abortion. I barely knew what the word meant, but I knew clearly that it was wrong. There were many people working in pro-life work before 1973. We were not. It was really the Supreme Court decision that was the impetus for us to get involved. Sister Karen here in Tulsa asked us to give a talk, and that was sort of the start of it.
We didn't really know anything about abortion, so we got a book of Barbara and Jack Wilkie and prepared ourselves to give a talk, and then shortly thereafter, a physician, Dr. Robert Tompkins, who had been giving some talks about abortion, he encouraged us to get more actively involved. He said the pro-life movement needs young couples, those of childbearing age, to take the lead in the pro-life cause. We began to meet in our living room with a group of close friends, which became the board of directors of Tulsans for Life.
There must have been thousands upon thousands of people who were just like us going around giving talks. A lot of it involved trying to get people to vote for pro-life candidates. And then Tony was more involved with the legislation and the political aspect of the Right to Life efforts.
Tony has just made sure that when it comes to abortion, assisted suicide, innocent life is protected in Oklahoma. He has fought long and hard in his gentlemanly, polite, sincere manner.
We want to be a pro-life state, and that means pro-mother, pro-child, pro-family, pro-marriage. And it takes organizations like Tony's. He's been here from the very beginning, advocating for the protection of the unborn and promoting hope in Oklahoma.
Being from Oklahoma, I always wanted to come to National March for Life, As soon as I got to Notre Dame, I was involved with the Right to Life Club. I was trying to meet people that could mentor me, kind of bring me into the action. And I did that mostly through the Nicola Center. And so I would go to those marches. Tony was great because he's really invested in me from the beginning. He sponsored me to go to National Right to Life in Alexandria for 5 weeks and to learn everything I could about the pro-life movement.
Kylie came to us because of Tony. He's always on the lookout for young, energetic, intelligent people to plug into the movement. As my vice president now for 14 years, I have called him frequently. He's just always so sensible, logical. I love working with him.
He's so patient. When he argues with somebody, it's like, okay, now let's sit down and look at this another way. He's a Christian through and through.
The next generation of leaders in the pro-life movement can learn from the tenacity of someone like Tony Lauinger, but also going back to family, the most important thing to learn is that while you're doing all these things, you can't allow your family life to fall to the wayside. That has to always be sort of your number one. And a couple like Tony and Phyllis, if you were to look at their anniversary photos through the years and you see this growing group of people around them, that's the family. I mean, that's where you really see how the culture of life builds on itself and God's faithfulness to that covenant of marriage.
I met Phyllis on a blind date, and here we are 53 years later, 8 children and 19 grandchildren. It was 1978 that I first worked on legislation at the Oklahoma State Capitol. It's about a 2-hour drive, and I'd go down in the morning and come back in the evening.
I only worked 2 days a week, and so I was able to pick the kids up at school every day, because that's a great time for a mother when the kids get in the car right after school or after practice. That's when they talk. We'd all eat dinner together every night. That was a big thing for us.
Phyllis's true, genuine commitment was absolutely indispensable to my veering off in terms of career, and that would never have been possible had Phyllis not been all in for fighting the pro-life fight.
In 2000, I was offered an opportunity to help start a free clinic. My role was as director. We also started a pregnancy program for women who didn't have access to prenatal care. For the last 15 years, I've been a volunteer. It's been a wonderful opportunity to meld the pro-life work with medical care. They are pro-life just from inside out. They welcome a big family, they welcome their children, and so I feel a real affinity for them.
Being pregnant, I've done pro-life work for many, many years in my life, but I've never seen this side of it, and I never realized how important it was to have doctor advocates that believe in the sanctity of life. And so to know that there are people like Phyllis out there who are making sure to advocate for babies is so important and so inspiring.
Tony and Phyllis are really committed to our Soren Fellows program. And I see it when I come on campus and watch him interact with the students, to talk to them, to listen to them, and to give them advice. They are long-standing, devout Catholics who've committed their lives to the dignity of every human life, born and unborn. And the Nicola Center for Ethics and Culture's Evangelium Vitae medal represents the honor that they should have for living a life that's committed to the pro-life message.
This is a cause that affects all of us, and all, especially young people beginning families, are qualified to stand up in defense of the masterpiece of God's creation, the innocent, helpless, vulnerable child in the womb waiting to be born. And we must. We must, because as we know from the Our Father, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And it's through us that God's will on earth will be done.